Hello students, so today we'll start with the practical 1C of Java Servlets. So the practical 1C consists of create a registration servlet in Java using JDBC. So what is JDBC? Is Java Database Connectivity. So here what we have to use is, here we have to use database, except the details such as the username, password, email and country. Okay, from the user using HTML form and store the registration details in the database. So here we have to create an HTML form with these fields, these 4 fields, and we have to store the data in the table. So let's jump and we'll start with our program. So first we'll create a new project, Java Web. Next we'll rename it as practical 1C. Next, Glassfish server and everything will be as it is. We don't need any frameworks and we can click on finish. So our project is ready, right? So just because we are using a database, so here we also need to install MySql, and in the first session as we discussed what are the prerequisites. In the prerequisites we have MySql as one of the prerequisites. So let's open MySql. We have installed MySql and we'll open MySql. We'll add the password which is required when we had set up the system software. Okay, so here what we have to do is, first we'll check which all databases are present in our system. So we have these many, we have 5 rows of databases which are present in our system. So now let's create a database. Create database and we'll give it as Java Sem5, or we'll name it as College DB. So our database is created. Now what we have to do is, we have to move to that database in order to use it. So we have now moved into the College DB database. Now we want to check how many tables we have in this database. So we don't have any tables currently in this database, as we have just created the database. So now let's create a table. So create table, users, and now we'll move with 1 First we'll write username. We'll have varchar for it, that is 20, and we'll keep it primary key. Then after that we'll have username, password. For that we'll keep varchar 50. After that we have email. For that we'll keep varchar 50 again. And last we have, that is country. For that we'll keep varchar 20. Okay, so our table is created. In order to verify the description of the table, we'll write DESC and the name of the table. So we'll just verify with all the column names and all the details which we have just currently filled, whether all of them are proper. So once it is done, now we again move back to our project in NetBeans. First of all, what we'll do is, we'll delete the unwanted data and we'll rename the title as registration form. Delete this div content. We'll create our form tag. Form tag method will be post as usual, which we are keeping. In that we'll create one h1 tag. Within that h1 tag we'll add registration form. Okay, so now we'll enter the details one by one. So we'll add br over here so that our data is splitted into the next line. We'll write username, input type is equal to text, name is equal to txt uid. So we'll take it as user id over here, and we'll again have a br tag over here. Then we'll write enter password, input type is equal to password. We'll keep password over here so that no one else apart from us can see the password when we are typing. Enter email. So here the input type will be email, so that when the user is typing, it will auto validate the email and it will give an error if the email which is entered is not proper successfully entered. Enter country. The last one is country. So input type is equal to text, name will be txt country. So here we have created all the inputs. Now next task will be to create buttons. So the first button we'll create is reset. In the second button which we'll create is submit. Using submit our data will be submitted. So here we will give it a name as button submit and value as click to register. So now here we are done with our form part. So we have completed our creating the database, creating the table, we have created the HTML part. Now we'll create the servlet where our code will be used. So right click on source packages, servlet. Now we'll give this servlet a name, that is registration servlet. Source package will be default. We'll click on add information to deployment descriptor and click on finish. So now here our servlet is also created. We'll remove the unwanted code. We'll also remove everything from here. We'll write our own code. We'll write public void do post because we are using post method. Request HTTP response throws servlet exception IO exception. We are fine with this. Now what is the basic thing we have to do? That is response dot set content type. What is our content type? Text HTML. Character set is equal to UTF-8. After that we'll write print writer. Out is equal to response dot get writer. We are done with this also. Now what is the next step? The next step will be, here we have to get the details of the parameters from the here we have to get the details of the parameters which we have taken in the form, right? So string UID is equal to request dot get parameter. Here we'll write txt UID. If you don't remember, we can go to index.html, copy the name and paste it over here. Instead of getting the errors later on, we can easily get the data first only. Request dot get parameter txt pass. Now we'll again verify what we have written, txt pass. Okay. String email request dot get parameter txt email. The last is country. String country is equal to request dot get parameter txt country. Okay. So what we have done now is we have created a servlet, we have got the data, but now what is left? Now the thing left is we have to insert this data into the database and the table which we have created. So for that, what we have to do is, in the project section we go to libraries. Here we have to import one jar file which is the mediator connector between my servlet, means my Java code, and my database. So what it is the MySql connector Java. If you don't get it, we go to this PC, C drive, program files, click on libraries, add jar, C programs. In that we go to NetBeans. In that we go to IDE. In the IDE we go to modules. In the modules we go to ext. In the ext we will find this MySQL connector jar file. We'll open this file and we'll import it over here. So now what we have done is we have just imported the jar file. What this jar file will help is using this jar file, now we'll able to write the database parameters which are used in our servlet code. Now what is still left? So what we'll do is here is, okay, I'll disconnect this, delete. So what we'll do is, in the database, in the services part, if we don't get the services part, we can go to navigate or profile. We can get it anywhere. Windows, in the Windows we'll get services. In this services we'll go to databases, right click on it, register MySQL server for the first time, write the password of the root user which we just entered previously in MySQL, and here our connection to the MySQL in NetBeans is successful. We right click on it and we clicked on connect. So here we have connected our database in NetBeans. The database which we created currently was college DB. So we have to again connect this database. So now a connection string has been established over here. Now we have to use this connection string over here. But before that we have to use try catch block. Why? If in case my database is not working, or my jar file is not properly included, or any other issues related to my database or my servlet, it will raise an exception over here for you, right? So we'll write try catch. Now what first thing we have to do is here class dot for name. Here we have to provide which driver we are using. So from where we'll get this driver, over here only we have to right click and click on properties. In the properties, here we'll get the driver class. We just have to click on these three dots, copy this driver from here, close, minimize this and paste the driver over here. So now we are confirming the servlet that the driver database which we are using, that is MySQL, right? After that we have to do is connection, right? So here we'll include connection con is equal to driver manager dot get connection. So here what we'll do is, from the driver now we have to build the connection. So here three parameters will come. The first parameter is which database we want to use, right? So here we'll get the name, details of it. Again in the properties we'll click over here, we'll just copy from JDBC till the name of my database, not the whole part but till over here only. So we have copied it over here, the root and the password of my database. So here till now we have done. Now next statement is we have to create okay, we have imported a wrong one. We have to import java.sql. Connection. We imported the wrong one. Okay. So here we will do prepared statement. What will prepared statement help us for? To prepare the SQL query. So, okay, again the wrong one. SQL PST, will give it a name. Here we'll write con dot prepare statement. Here we have to write our SQL queries. So what is our SQL query? Insert into users the table which we have created, values, and over here we won't write the variable name, but instead we'll write. The reason for it is many reasons. One we can consider is user ID, password, email, country. All of these contains string types, so compatibility issue might be also come over here. And plus what we'll do is we'll set the string over here. So the first index contains user ID, the second string contains password, the third string contains email, and the fourth string contains country. So during the runtime what it will do is it will replace this question mark with these parameters. So it is more convenient, instead of giving single quotes, as we use in MySQL, the quotes which we use. And again, if that data again contains any of the single quotes or double quotes, then again it is a problem. So it is better we should use this. Now to get the output, what we'll do is pst.execute update. So what it will do is it will execute this query, it will execute this prepared statement query and return an output whether it is successful or not. So what we'll do is we'll write a println over here. In the println we'll have one h1 tag. In the h1 tag we'll add this row because it will give us the number of rows affected, inserted successfully. So in case if it doesn't insert, it will give 0. If it inserts, then it will return 1. So let's run our program now and let's check the output of it. Okay, so our output is, yeah, so we have got the registration form. We'll type Hatim, password will be password. We can write any email whichever we want. Country India. First we'll try with reset. Okay, reset is working perfectly as it is required. We'll again write the inputs abc@gmail.com and country India. Now we'll click on register. Once we click on register, nothing has happened. Why? Because in the index.html file we haven't mentioned the action of it. So here we'll write registration servlet, right, and we'll again run the code. So we'll again enter the name, details, India. Click on register. Once we click on register, it has successfully given 1 inserted successfully. Means the row variable which we had, it returned 1 over here and the data is successfully inserted. Now if we go to our SQL and fire an SQL query, that is select star from users, it has given me the data which we currently inserted. So using this we can create insert data into MySQL database using Java JDBC. Thank you.